Oh yeah, I mean we were teammates. He DM'd me after the game. He actually congratulated me. He said, "Man, heck of a play. You guys are having a heck of a season. Go win it all." And I love you. And I was like, man, that's Tom Brady. For those who don't know Tom Brady, that's Tom Brady to a core.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Monster Monday presented, of course, as always, by DraftKings. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years. You guys know that. CBS broadcaster now. Preseason is over in the NFL. Final cuts coming out tomorrow. I don't feel good about that at all. Takes me back to some of the best times and worst times in my life now that I think about it. New week means a lot to discuss, right? We got Logan Ryan, 2-time Super Bowl champ, who just retired. He just started in the Super Bowl for the Niners. Now he's on our show, which is amazing. We should have a new Spread the Word winner via social media this week. That's just at Ross Tucker NFL, really at Ross Tucker Pod, engaging with any of our posts on any platform. We're looking for some winners. Those of you that take advantage of the sponsors and send me an email, I love when you take advantage of like Game Time or West Shore. Awesome. YouTube shout out, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. You also need to be following at Ross Tucker Pod on Twitter. We just gave away a Madden, or we're about to give away a Madden for those of you at Ross Tucker Pod. Patron of the day, patreon.com/RT Media, is Mateo Saavedra. Welcome to the family, Mateo. A lot of people do it because they want to see the even money bets in black and white, but you also then get a chance to be part of our private Slack community, which is awesome. Almost as awesome as Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka and an official vodka partner of the NFL. I'm always blown away by these companies that start like in 1864. That is incredible. Smirnoff helps bring fans together to cheer on their favorite team. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol, the Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
So obviously, I feel so old when I say this, but I quote unquote covered the guy's entire career calling his games. I remember when he was a rookie in 2013. It was like my 5th year out of the league. Guy just had an unbelievable career, 11 years in the NFL, won a Super Bowl. I mean, there's a lot we could get into there. At one point was ranked one of the top 100 players in the NFL. I'm talking about the great Logan Ryan, who just retired this offseason. I think he retired. Did you retire the day before I met you, maybe, Logan, before the broadcast workshop?
The day of is when I put those papers in and started the next career. A few minutes later, I guess.
That's wild. All right, so why now? I just watched you in February in the Super Bowl. You had 7 tackles and you forced a fumble. So you can still do this. You can still play. Why make the decision to retire now?
I think it was a tough decision, but it came down to me about family and trying to be whole for my kids and my wife and to walk away from the game. And I think they teach you how to get in the game. Obviously, we dream of it as kids, and we understand the college, and we understand the combine and the process of getting drafted or undrafted and what it's like to make a team. But I was able to save my money. I was able to make smart decisions when I played so I could make the decision to walk away when I wanted. And I accomplished everything I wanted on the field, and everything else would be chasing individual accolades or individual goals. But to be able to walk away, with money in my pocket to live on and to do what I want to do next, which is get into TV and talk the game and also be there for my kids. And I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old and my wife a little bit more. I think just just why not? If you can retire in your 30s, why not?
All right. So there's a lot to that. What about Logan? I mean, you got signed like last December by the Niners, and obviously you started some games, you played in the Super Bowl, you're still playing well. Are you working out at all? Like what happens if October or November a legit team, like a legit Super Bowl contender, has somebody go down and they're like, Logan, please, we need you. You're the only guy out there that could come in and play nickel or play safety or whatever it is. Is that a 0% thing for you? Is it a 10%? Or are you training with the idea that there's a chance that happens?
No, it's close to zero as possible. I mean, my CBS contract is literally that. So, I wouldn't sign it if I would back out on it. So that's a 0%. That was last year to me. Last year I was considering retirement. I broke my foot for the Bucks, and I got to play in Tampa where my house is. And I broke my foot, and I rehabbed and came back in like 7 weeks, like record time for that type of injury. And I played, and I definitely felt like I rushed to play, but I was still playing for my team, and I've always been like that. And I was like, you know what, man? It got to the point where like my mom didn't want to watch the games anymore. My mom's like, how much longer are you going to play? How much longer are you going to, you keep getting hurt, or, we understand the stresses, of playing this sport. And I was like, you know what? I think I did everything I wanted to do, and I'm ready for the next chapter. So that's what I thought last year. And I got a call from the 49ers when I was on a cruise. I was on a cruise for Thanksgiving. And I was like, if I don't get a call by Thanksgiving, I'm good. And last year, I purposely told my agent not to go to teams. There was a bunch of teams that wanted to sign me last year, but I only wanted to play for the Tampa Bay Bucks or Super Bowl contender. So that ruled out about 28 teams in the NFL. And some teams have called. I said, I appreciate it, but I can't do it. I appreciate I can't do it. And I got the opportunity off of that cruise to go to the 49ers, to go to another Super Bowl, a play away or a few plays away from winning a third Super Bowl. And I was like, man, that was a fun ride, but that takes a toll to do that. And I think, like I said, I'm at peace of what I've done, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter.
Okay. You got to walk me through, what cruise are you on? Where are you on this cruise? And take me through, like, who calls you? I'm assuming it's your agent. And
Yeah.
did it take a lot of convincing, or no? Take me through the whole cruise call.
Yeah. So I'm a huge Disney fan. My wife and I were a big Disney family. So we're going on a Disney cruise for Thanksgiving, and they have a very maritime cruise, which is cool. You can do Thanksgiving dinner on the ship. And the reason why I booked that is because, as being in football, we've never really had off on Thanksgiving. I've always had practice or a game or a college game or travel on Thanksgiving. So I have no really family tradition of Thanksgiving with my wife and kids. So now that I'm not playing, I'm like, what are we going to do for Thanksgiving? And my wife's deciding, should we go up north from New Jersey, Delaware, where I'm from and she's from, or is our family going to come down here? Or what are we going to do? Because we never had this holiday to really celebrate or be with family. So we decided, let's just go on a cruise. So we booked this cruise because I know I'm not playing this season. I'm semi-retired. So cruise is booked. I have a townhouse in Orlando because I go to Disney so much. So I have a house right by Disney. So I'm at my house. I'm watching the 49ers game playing the Bucks, and Hufanga tears ACL. I'm like, oh, man, he's a really good player. I go to sleep that night. The next day is the day of the cruise. I get a call from my agent. Hey, the 49ers called. What do you want to go out there? I know it's pretty far. You don't want to go too far from home. And I said, he's like, I know you're going to tell me no, aren't you? And I was like, you know what? Let me think about it. So I thought about it. I called him back and I said, all right, let me see what they're talking about. And he said, all right, John Lynch is going to call you, and he's going to like try to convince you to come and whatever, and to see what shape you're in and stuff like that. And I said, listen, I am boarding this cruise as we speak now. So this cruise is leaving in 55 minutes. If John Lynch doesn't call me in 55 minutes, I will have no cell service to even take the call. So John Lynch calls me 52 minutes later, and we're leaving dock. The horns are going off, and cell reception's breaking up. And I'm like, John, I'm on a cruise. Let me call you back. And he's like, what shape are you in? I'm like, give me a week. He's like, you haven't played all year. I was like, yeah, give me a week. I'll be ready. And I hung up and told my wife, and she was okay with it. And I put that beer down that I had in my hand for the welcome Mai Tai or whatever I had. And I had started hitting that gym every morning on the cruise, running a couple miles, hitting it again at night, doing 2-a-days on the Disney cruise gym, which is pretty nice. Appreciate it.
That is unbelievable. I love that story. So I hate and love that story. You're starting a cruise, which is all you can eat, and like and the drinks, and that's right when you had to start to like could
Yeah.
do 2-a-days and you couldn't really relax, dude. That I don't know if that's the best or worst story I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I go to the gym, and there's a tight end that I play with on the Titans named Tony Trahan, and he was on the cruise. He's like, Logan, what's up? And I'm like, yo, bro, I'm getting in shape for a comeback. And he's like, yo, you should definitely do it. You're gonna do it, man. I'm like, I don't know, bro. I haven't been training. I really didn't train at all because I thought I was retired. And he's like, nah, man, like you got this. So he was kind of like hyping me up during the training. So shout out to Tony for that. But you run into teammates everywhere, man. So he gave me the motivation to stick with it. And I joined the team 10 days later. I think I cracked the starting lineup 2 weeks after that and, started in the Super Bowl. So it's crazy how quickly time can change. And I think unless you've played, you don't realize how hard that is, to get out of shape, in shape, compete. But I'm never too far out of shape. I live pretty healthy.
Yeah, that is unbelievable, man. I mean, you're on a Thanksgiving cruise. Next thing you know, you're starting in the Super Bowl a couple months later. What did you think of the Niners organization, Ross? I mean, you played for several teams: Giants, Bucks, Titans, obviously the Patriots. I guess in particular, since you had so much success with the Patriots, sort of compare and contrast maybe the culture between those organizations.
I think that's the most similar feel that I felt of going to the Niners locker room day one. As a new player, it's like going to a new school. And immediately day one, I said, this is like the Patriots. I went in on a Tuesday. I did a tryout because I was not interested in signing a practice squad. So I did a tryout to make the roster and on a Tuesday. And I walked in the weight room to warm up, and I saw, I would say 20 starters in there lifting on a day off, which is, not always normal. Some of the great players do it, but not all of them. They have a lot of great players. And they were all in it. The headline guys, Bosa, McCaffrey, Purdy, Debo, Trent, like you name it, guys are in there just kind of getting extra work in. And I'm like, man, I haven't felt this in a while. And Kyle Shanahan, so smart, so strategic. He's able to relate to everyone. He reminds me of a savant, like a genius, like Bill. How he's able to simplify the game for every position, and every position feels like their job's easy because they work together. And obviously, Kyle's more offensive and Bill's more defensive, but the general fundamentals of blocking and tackling and like the way that the 49ers block on offense is so similar how the Patriots tackle on defense. So I just thought like this guy is like the closest thing I've been to since Bill. And I played for Vrabel and guys who coach under Bill, but I was really, really blown away and impressed. I think it's a top notch organization from top to bottom.
So you mentioned this, but what are you going to be doing now? I mean, I know a little bit of it, but from for the audience that doesn't know, talk us through about how are you spending your time this season?
Yeah, I'll be a rookie again this year. I'm switching to your field. I'll be joining you at CBS, and I'll be doing some broadcasting. I'll be an analyst for some college games on Saturdays, Fridays, sometimes Thursday night action, and then I'll be in studio on Sundays, breaking it down pregame NFL, which I know a lot about and love. So I'm excited. My biggest asset as a player has always been my mind, how I think the game, how I communicate the game to my teammates. I was a guy that always, spread love and made sure that my teammates around me played better. So I feel like I was that type of player. And to be able to think the game out on TV and to simplify and explain it to the fans, I'm really excited to go at it and to learn from guys like you who've been doing it for a while now and are really, really good at it.
That is awesome, by the way. What I love about that is that you're going to get a chance to experience both and see which one you like more,
Yeah.
see which you're better at. You're getting games and studio, you're getting college and NFL, right? So you're like, by the end of this season, you'll know whether you like college or NFL better. You'll know whether you like doing games or studio better. And then who knows, what options you'll have down the line or how that works. But at least you'll have a pretty good feel by the end of this season what you like and you don't like, which is what I really like for you, that you're getting all of that. I've done it all, so I have a pretty good feel for it. And it's like anything else, man. There's pros and cons, right? Like I think the games are more fun, but they're also a lot more work and a much bigger time commitment. So the guys that are able to just do studio, boy, you're saving yourself a lot of time and a lot of aggravation. So like it really becomes what's a priority to you, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And this year for me was about tackling head on, like not training, not focus on returning to play, truly being at peace of what I'd done on the field. And of course, we always think we could have done more. I could have won a third Super Bowl. I could have won a fourth. I should have made a Pro Bowl or whatever. But past all that, man, I'm super blessed and happy and fortunate. And now I get to go into the next career and I get to see it all, right? CBS is giving me an opportunity to do studio and to talk NFL, to talk college, the passion in college, right? And man, I haven't been to college in 11, 12 years when I was at Rutgers and I was a All-American there too. So I understand success at the college level. And I'm excited to dip my toe in that and see what these student athletes know and what they can do. And it's a different world with this NIL. And I started to play with some of these NIL babies in the NFL. So I see the mindset of what these kids are like coming out now. And boy, do they know business a little better than we did at a younger age, and they understand their worth for good and for bad. So I'm excited to get my takes on that, right? Because fresh off, I don't think anybody can be fresher off the field from the Super Bowl to the booth, literally in time than me. So I'm excited to get there and learn from the pros and learn how to do it and just try to have fun with it. Bring a lot of joy to the screen.
NIL babies. I haven't heard that term before, but I like that. NIL babies. What's funny, man? I don't know why. Well, let me ask you this. What do you think you're most known for? Like if I went up to 100 people on the street in Pennsylvania or wherever, maybe even up in New England, and said, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the name Logan Ryan? What do you think would be the top one or two things people would say?
Number one would be picking off Brady's last pass to the Patriots.
I knew it. I
That's
knew
number
it.
one. Number two, and it could be number one, it should be two-time Super Bowl champ. I brainwashed that in people's heads. But two-time Super Bowl champ and picking off Brady's last pass.
But isn't that amazing? That's probably the order, right? Like you're two-time Super Bowl champ, played 11 years, made a bunch of money or whatever. But dude, everybody remembers that last play and remembers that you did that. Everybody. I guess it's because it's a playoff game. Everybody's watching. They kind of knew it would be Brady's last game or whatever. But I can totally see that being what people say. Are people in New England mad at you for that?
No, they're not, man. I got a lot of love in New England. Fans are great. Obviously, I did a lot of winning there. They're not mad at me for that. I think they kind of knew it was the end of Bill and Tom. Obviously, I think the dynasty showed us that documentary. But, nobody knew that was going to be Tom's last game. They thought it was his last season, but Tom doesn't lose wild card games at home too often. You know that. So I think it was a shock and an upset. But I think that he threw that pass to a former Patriot was kind of a fitting end. Like, all right, well, at least it went to Logan, and we can move on and the next chapter. And you're talking about the greatest player to ever play our game, in my humble opinion. So anything that man touches is gold. And the fact that his last pass is a pick six in a Patriots jersey after 20 years, of course I'm going to be remembered for that one.
Have you ever talked to him about it?
Oh yeah, we were teammates. He DM'd me after the game. He actually congratulated me. He said, "Man, heck of a play. You guys are having a heck of a season. Go win it all." And I love you. And I was like, man, that's Tom Brady. For those who don't know Tom Brady, that's Tom Brady to a core. Just a really, really good human being, like a super special human being. And then we end up being Bucks. We end up being teammates in Tampa together. So I ended up played with him again, got him to sign the ball. So he actually signed it. So he had fun with it and kind of laughed at it, you know. So we've talked about it. I wouldn't say a bunch, but quite a couple times. And he's acknowledged it. And look, listen, Bucks fans, down here in Tampa, he went to the Bucks the next year, and what did he do? He won a Super Bowl, so they could thank me on that one too, you know.
That is so funny that you had him sign the ball. That I'm glad you kept the ball for sure. And I
Yeah.
love that you had him sign it. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, I'm always one. I'm not a big like collector of things. You got the game balls up. I don't even know where my game balls are at. I got to display something pretty soon here. But I was a guy that always, when I caught an interception, I kept the ball, but I give the ball away to friends and family. So if someone comes to the game, I give them the ball. For instance, my first interception was a pick six, first one of my career, 80 yards on Geno Smith. I went right to the stands, tossed it to my mom. I picked off Peyton Manning as a rookie, gave that ball to my dad. I grew up watching Peyton Manning with my dad. The Tom Brady ball was a ball I held on to. I was like, I'm not giving anyone this one. I was a Patriot. I beat the Patriots in the playoffs. I'm keeping this one. My kids were kicking it around the house one day, and I was like, I got to pick this up and put it in a glass case or something because they're getting too reckless with these footballs. But yeah, my kids have catch my interception balls. I don't really think much of them. I used to give them away. Therefore, I thought I would get more. You know, I kind of bless other people, and then the quarterback will bless me back the next week. So that was always my philosophy.
So, did you pick off Aaron Rodgers too?
Yeah, I picked off Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
So there can't be that many guys that have picked off Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers.
Nah, there's probably less than, I don't know, 2 or 3 humans ever. I mean, I guess on the planet in that decade, right? In that 20-year span, right? That era of football, which I think is now dead and gone. Now we have the mobile quarterback and these crazy athletes at quarterback. So yeah, to get all 3 of those, it's hard to get Brady, obviously. Peyton throws some, but he's so dang smart. And I played against Denver a bunch, so I was going to get Peyton. But Aaron, I think, is the hardest because Aaron doesn't throw interceptions. And he
Right.
throws so dang hard. I thought my hand broke when I caught it. I was surprised I caught he throws so hard. So his football is so hard to catch at receiver, but at DB, we know how hard he throws the ball. So he doesn't throw like a ball that's easy to intercept. So he was the hardest of the 3. But yeah, to get all 3 of those is definitely a lot, is a feat in itself.
Make sure you're following him on social media this season so you can see what games he's calling on CBS, see when he's in the studio. At Real Logan Ryan is his handle on X. Logan, really appreciate the time. Great meeting you in April. Congrats on an incredible career. And I'll be watching. Sometimes I'll be in hotel rooms Thursday night, Friday night, whatever. I'll be watching, man. I'll text you some tips if I see anything.
Please do, man. I'll be watching you and doing the big games. So I'm excited. And I'm excited to be on this side of things. I used to joke at the media a little bit. Now I'm on that side. So it's funny how it always ends up.
You're going to be awesome, man. I know it. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it.
Awesome stuff from Logan. Really, really enjoyed that conversation. I always take notes. If you ever see me looking down on YouTube, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL, there was a lot there. Just like there's a lot there with my friends from West Shore Home. You guys know we got 2 of the showers redone. Then we went and got a new entry door. They got even a bunch of other things to get into now. It's not just the wet area, the shower, bath. They'll do your whole bath remodel. They'll do the tiles, like the whole deal now. So if you were waiting to do your whole bathroom, you got to go to West Shore Home. And then the entry door, I'm going to get another door done because our front door now looks amazing. And so the other doors don't look as amazing compared to the front door. So now we're going to match those up, which I think is really cool. Here's what's also cool. You can get free installation with 48 months, 0% interest, plus an extra $500 off. Just visit www.westshorehome.com/Ross to redeem. That's westshorehome.com/Ross. And then you can celebrate by drinking some Labatt Blue Lights and living life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Tuck's Takes.
All right, Ross, a lot of news over the weekend. Eagles, they traded for Commanders wide receiver Jahan Dotson. Cade York got traded to the Commanders. The Falcons, they signed A.J. Terrell. And then the Chiefs, they signed Creed Humphrey, both to big money deals.
Well, congrats to Creed and AJ. I don't know what else to say there. And congrats to Cade York for joining the exclusive club of conditional seventh round picks, the highest honor an NFL player can receive. And the Dotson trade, boy, Washington must really not be scared of him to trade him in division. And obviously the Eagles felt like they wanted an upgrade at the number 3 receiver. And I think they pretty clearly did that. I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network on Samsung TV Plus, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. You guys know how I feel about it. Absolutely think it's fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, Pizza Boy Brewing, I'm doing an appearance there. The first Monday night of the NFL season, I think it's Jets and Niners. So if those of you that live anywhere near central Pennsylvania, there's a trivia night, 6 to 8 p.m. at Pizza Boy Brewing in central Pennsylvania. I'll be there. Sporticulture, humanheadnyc.com, backofficescheduler.com.